Hometown Hero, sponsored by Rotolo Chevrolet.
And we've got another good one for you today. Her name is Diana Kohanzad. Now, she never dreamed of running marathons. That's when she was a basketball player at Taft High School. When she was there, she hated running. But a few years ago, she drew inspiration to running from a coffee shop colleague who was battling cancer. And in less than 3 years of training, she is now qualified to run Monday's Boston Marathon. Here's our Jil Painter Lopez, who caught up with her for this week's edition of Hometown Hero.
Diana, you found such a love for marathon running in the last few years, but didn't start that way. At Taft High School, you were a basketball player and you didn't even like to run. How does it happen where you found this love of running?
I was just a shooter, to be honest. I would stand in the perimeter, I would ask for the ball, the ball would go up, the shot would go in, and...
You weren't getting back on defense?
No, I barely. Not at all. Hated it. You didn't make your free throws, go run. You're talking, suicides. So it was a punishment. But now it's more of, okay, this is something in my lifestyle. I can do this.
You work at Coffee Bean, and a colleague named Ross inspired you to start marathon running.
Ross was one of my colleagues. We would go out and would do local store marketing, and we would pick up these events, and one of them was marathon running. Go to find out a few years later, he had cancer. One day I went to visit him before I went hiking, and he's like, I'm 100% cleared, everything is great, and go to find out a week later, he does not make it. It broke my heart. Oh my gosh, I was just like, wow, this is... I just talked to him. No, it didn't make sense to me. And I reflected back on that event he helped me with, and I was like, I'm gonna go run that event, that marathon. It was a 5K in the Palisades. And
you did it to honor him.
And to honor him, and it felt so good. I just remember him saying something about like going bald for all these cancer kids, and you're just like, this man doesn't even know. Oh, he inspires me. I gotta go. This is my calling.
Yeah. How did that play into marathons?
I started craving more, so it went from the feeling of a 5K to a 10K. I started doing half marathons, and then one day I did the San Francisco half marathon. It was the hardest half marathon I've ever done, and my friend went with me, and he's like, man, I bet you couldn't do a full marathon. Next thing I knew, I was running the full marathon at San Diego in June. Eventually, I found out what Boston qualifying was.
But that's no joke. You're 32 and you have to go under 3.5 hours.
It is no joke. It is no joke. I can't express to you how much work it is.
What is it about Diana as a runner that she's already been able to qualify for the Boston Marathon when she's only been running marathons for a few years?
Anything she sets her mind to, she's going to accomplish. She doesn't give up. There's times where, it's raining or it's super hot and humid, but she always shows up with a positive face. And no matter what the schedule is, she gets the work done.
Your colleague and friend Ross, you mentioned that every time you run by Forest Lawn on these training runs on Saturdays, you think of him.
I didn't know when I first started running with this group, I didn't know that's where Forest Lawn was. I didn't know it was so close. And the first time I saw it, the very first time, I was just like,
it hit you.
Yeah. So I started crying. I was like, it makes you feel like, okay, I need a moment of silence right now. Let me honor him. The next time his year came up, it was June 25th. I grabbed all the medals I had ran that year, and I went. His family was there. They were just like, they were so welcoming, and I met his whole family that I've never met them before. So we just sat, bonded, just to feel that on a route and to have people with me and him pull me along. It's beautiful. If I can just inspire just one human, 2, 3, I can just bring everyone in. If it could be my brothers, that's my goal. Bring it on. I would literally cry if my brother would hold my hand and just run 26 miles.
Aww.
Isn't it amazing how important running is to her and how emotional she is about how she can help others?
Yeah, I love the example she sets about the discipline, because it's one thing to do it, every so often when it's convenient, but when you have a set schedule that you have to do every single day, people like her can fulfill it because of that disciplined nature.
And she's overcome a heck of a lot in her life so far, and she knows that she's going to help some other people.
Yeah, and I think hopefully that inspires others that are going through other hardships. How do you devote and channel some of those frustrations and emotional moments into something good and healthy and productive?
And we want to say thank you to her for everything she's doing for all of us, that's for sure.